All right, Jay, let's talk about the debt ceiling for the US. What do you think about that? Want to talk
All
about
right.
that? Let's do it. So, this is from NPR. The US could hit its debt ceiling within days. Here's what you need to know. Hitting the national debt ceiling is a major worry for Washington right now, I'm sure. On Friday, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned that the US is on track to reach the debt limit or the cap on how much money the federal government can borrow by Thursday. The ceiling was last raised by 2.5 trillion in December of 2021 to a total of 31.4 trillion. That's a good idea. It's not. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's a bad idea. So, in the past, Congress has avoided breaching the limit by simply raising it, which is like taking out another loan for your loan. But House Republicans said they will not support increasing the debt ceiling this time around, not unless they get spending cuts or other concessions. In a letter to congressional leaders, Yellen said deadlock around the debt ceiling can cause irreparable harm to the economy and even global financial stability. She hearkened back to 2011 when the US reached its debt limit, wreaking havoc on the stock market. So here's the thing about that irreparable harm. What does that mean? I think that means you can't repair it.
Well, if they aren't gonna raise the debt ceiling again, that means government has to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we look back in the past when we did have these government shutdowns, it was because they were delaying or trying to decide on raising the debt ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if they don't want to do that anymore because it's too much debt?
See, she kind of makes it sound like the Republicans just want pay cuts in order to, like, nut up or shut up kind of thing. However, aren't they also at the same time trying to make that new legislation that like stops income tax?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a depends right there. It's kind of a balance there of are they just corrupt, jackasses that want more money? Or are they actually trying to like stop the government from stealing our money?
Be both. Like everyone has an agenda.
Right. Yeah, it's a mix with the rhinos and stuff. It's all interesting and they're all corrupt. However, the whole take away the income tax. It's funny how, God, it's such a dystopia we live in that it's the liberals that are like, no, we need income tax and we need IRS agents to audit everyone and take your money.
Yeah,
It's the
that's the
same.
weird thing.
It is. And it's the same, their followers are the same people that won't work a real job, think they should be getting paid way amount of money, way too much money to like work at a comfy Twitter job, not doing anything all day
Yeah.
and help the poor and stuff. But I mean, they've already raised this. There is no like middle and I mean they've been trying to do that for years, destroy the middle income level families or whatever, so it's the rich and the poor now. And you look at it and that debt ceiling just keeps going. That's how you separate it, in my opinion. Is someone made some bad deals, and obviously those deals have to do with Ukraine. And I saw that meme you posted earlier about make sure to pay your taxes this year, other countries are relying on it or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. That's the reason. Do you see that though? What was it? What was it? What was it? It was 2.5 trillion to
Yeah.
31.4 trillion. That's insane.
And you gotta realize that, all those stimulus packages that we received, we
Uh-huh.
have to pay that in the next several years because that is future money owed to us that we took.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a loan from our future selves from the government kind of thing.
Yeah, and you know what's messed up about that is that we shouldn't have to necessarily pay that back, or you could take what 2,500 out of every person's oh, what's that called, Jay?
Income?
No, their
Income?
social security when they get older. However, there is no social security or whatever for these old people now. They got rid of that a long time ago.
Yeah.
So like when you go to retire and stuff, the money you've like put into it, boom, it's gone.
Yeah. It's gone.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm wondering, I'm trying to figure out how much debt the US is actually in. It says 41 trillion by 2026 on this one. Oh, it's at the rate they're going, it's gonna be way more than that. Oh, it's more than 31 trillion right now. So that's interesting. By 2020, in 3 years, it's going to go up another 10. However, how much have we gone up in just the past few years?
Like 10? 20?
Something. It was like 4 trillion 10 years ago. We were in debt as or something around that time. I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. Now they're like, we raised the debt ceiling from 2.5 trillion to 31.4.
Yeah.
That's insane. So yeah, we are at 31 trillion. That's why they're trying to raise it a little bit higher. So they have that money already put into stuff. They're just trying to raise it because they overspent, is what it looks like to me. And then they're talking about going into default, which I mean, to me, that means that they didn't pay their damn bill and now they owe interest on it.
Well, all that money going to Ukraine could have paid off some of that debt.
Right.
We
Which, if
could
it
have.
was like a lending experience, like, oh, we're only giving this to Ukraine to fund their war, but it's has an interest amount and they're going to pay us back, that's never going to happen. That's impossible.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm pretty sure we've bought that country like 3 times over, which it's not even actually its own country. It's like a
So I
state.
do I do want to add that we could face the same economic conditions as like Venezuela, where
Mhm.
their money was just worthless. And in order to buy like a loaf of bread or groceries at the store, you had to bring a wheelbarrow full of whatever money they had to the store. And it was pretty useless. Like you'd have what millions of Venezuelan dollars just to buy a few things at the grocery store. It was super inflated.
Oh, yeah. Like the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Trying to see which president it was. So maybe if someone wants to throw that in the comments or something. But there was a president back in the day that stopped like gold mining in the Grand Canyon. And that's a conspiracy all in itself because there was enough gold in the Grand Canyon, or there is, that it could have changed the entire financial structure of the world, not just the country, with how much gold they would have paid out of that or pulled out of that. That's why they got us, ended up getting us off the gold reserve and stuff. But we could have been on it. This stuff could have been paid today with gold from from the Grand Canyon, which I'm against any of this payments. I mean, how are sending money to Middle Eastern country for gender studies? But I don't think that they're using it exactly for that. I think it's like a payoff for something. Just like with Ukraine, what is the payoff though for that? What costs that much money? Because whoever's over there getting that money, it's all going into their pocket. They don't give a shit about their country or anything. They're gonna leave all those people to die and be taken over by the end of it, in my opinion.
Oh, I found the president. President Ulysses S. Grant.
Was it
This is way back then. 1872. The mining law.
the mining law at the Grand Canyon? I think another one had something to do with it as well. It's been in place for a while, obviously, but yeah, they stopped it. Very interesting. Very interesting how you would find your own gold in your own country already inside of a big ass hole and you would not mine it. Almost like it belongs to someone else already, huh? 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 Huh?
Well, if you want to go down conspiracy alley,
Mm-hmm.
um, the way we're gonna get ourselves out of this whole thing is to utilize whatever gold that's in the U.S. lands,
Uh-huh.
mainly in the Grand Canyon, to back a new type of currency. Like,
Oh.
so right now, the whole thing about Russia, if you guys are following the international news, they've been announcing or trying to hint that the Russian ruble is physical asset backed, meaning gold backed. China is on the same path as well as other countries like India, Iran, I think, or Iraq. One of those eyes. And some other countries down south. And if you notice with the other Western countries, they don't really have anything physical backing their money. Look at the euro. You could look at the British pound. It used to be the sterling silver, but it's no longer the case. The US dollar used to be backed by oil. Before then, gold at Fort Knox. But after we got off the gold standard and got off of the oil standard, the US dollar is just backed by pixie dust and faith. Like it's
Unicorn farts.
yeah, it's literally just paper at this point, and
Mm-hmm.
the value people place in it is invalid because there's nothing backing it. The value of the physical paper $1 bill is less than a penny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with how much they make, it's not worth
Yeah,
a fart in the air. But I think most of this is happening because the US dollar is like the global currency in
yeah.
its own way. It's like the staple for it. So it's almost like the US is self-sabotaging in order to gain ultimate control. I mean, if they fall down first, if they just bury themselves with debt, that has like a spiderweb effect to everyone else that's trying to hold up their own country with their own fake currency based on our fake currency.
Well, these are the countries with physical asset-backed
Mm-hmm.
assets. They're
Yeah.
gonna fare better than like US or
Mm-hmm.
all any of these other countries that had nothing to back up their currency.
So I
They're
wonder if
gonna
this
make it
is,
out of the storm better.
yeah, the first world countries. I wonder if this is a land grab because all those like third world countries, they have the gold. They just don't have the money to get the gold. So they're just sitting on it pretty much.
Yeah.
So if they fall into total collapse, how easy would it be to either, I mean, they're not going to buy it, but to take it over and be like, hey, we'll help you get out of this. All you do is just put our flags on top of your buildings instead of yours, like all the other countries that we somehow kind of own, but aren't a part of us. You know what I mean?
Like territories?
Yeah, exactly. US territories that aren't states, but for some reason we like own them, but we don't at the same time.
I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it? I don't know. It's self sabotage, and your money's about to be worth nothing. So while you're at it as an adult now, everybody, make sure you are prepared, and also start teaching your kids that that dollar ain't worth shit because all the entertainment industries and everything everywhere and all that good stuff is brainwashing not only you your entire life, but your children hardcore right now. Turn on a TV and you'll find out. Turn on a song, turn on the radio, something. Turn something on, you'll see. Money, 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 money. Now that everything is getting too expensive, that people can't afford it anymore, they're starting to worship money instead of faith in real things that they should be. But yeah, we may be screwed, guys. Get ready.